Paw Patrol 3 is quite a mystery. Since the announcement of the film a month ago, not much is known about it. All we know is that Cal Brunker is returning to direct and 2026 being the release year. We have no synopsis, no idea what the main concept is, no theme either. But by far one of the biggest talking points out of all of these is who will be the main character of Paw Patrol 3. There are four potential candidates that could see themselves being the main. Marshall, Rubble, Rocky, and Zuma. Today I'm going to give you my predictions over which character has the greatest or least chance of being the main character in Paw Patrol 3. Let's start off with Marshall. Out of all the pups I just mentioned, he is the favorite going into this. Based on the fandom, most want to see him as the main in the third film, and he seems the most logical out of all the four to make a movie on. The reason? His clumsiness. It is something that has been explored in this series in nearly every episode, with his usual wipeout gag and his occasional clumsiness plot-driven episode. The theatrical movies have sort of stepped away from this. He did have a few wipeouts in the movies, but half of them weren't really his fault. Plus, I felt like that Marshall's TV movie, Ready Race Rescue, had missed the opportunity to make his clumsiness his main conflict, considering the other two TV movies' conflicts were Chase with his leadership issues and Sky with her fear vehicles, both attributes to them respectively, and have been explored before. For Marshall, his clumsiness is an attribute to his character that I think the theatrical films could take further if it hasn't already, considering Pup's favorite friend was the deepest it went with his clumsiness being a factor, and even the darkest step in Paw Patrol for a while. Considering how the theatrical films like to tell more emotional and deeper stories in the series, I think it has a good chance to be the main conflict for Marshall if he's the main character in the third movie. It doesn't really need to revolve around a particular concept like Mighty Pups was the sky in the Mighty movie. Marshall's clumsiness can work with any concept you put it in. Sea Patrol, Ultimate Rescue, etc. You can make anything work with him. With this, I personally think Marshall has the best chance of being the main character, and recently there has been a development that could point to this, though take it with a grain of salt. This comes from Micros Animation, who posted a job listing on Instagram for a character servicing supervisor. That's not the important part. The logo is what we need to look at. Right next to the Paw Patrol logo, you can see this red number 3. And because Marshall's main color is red and he's number 3 on the team, this has further led people to think Marshall is going to be the main character. But let's not jump the gun here. This logo is most likely just a placeholder and it will update in due time. Plus, I don't think the red 3 will mean anything long term. Remember that yellow pup tag in the logo for the first movie? That never accounted for anything, so I don't think we should be taking any chances with this at the moment, especially when we're still about 3 years out from the film's release. Despite this, Marshall's chances are still high for him, and honestly, I'm hoping he gets a go as the main character. Let's move on to the second candidate, Rocky. He's the only other character in this listing that I could see a good conflict for him to have in the film, that being his disdain and fear of water, or aquaphobia. This is one of the reasons why I predicted a Sea Patrol based movie as the main concept for the third film. Like Marshall's clumsiness, it's something that has remained a bit consistent throughout the years and has been the main conflict of an episode in the past. Even the first episode of Sea Patrol went into this too. And again, with the theatrical films, it could explore further into why Rocky doesn't like water to begin with, or why he fears it on occasions. With this still, I can't see Rocky getting the nod as the main character for the third movie while Marshall is up there. And I don't think Zuma will either, but for the former, it certainly would be a moment of rejoice for sure. We all know the Zuma situation by now. Underused, underappreciated by the higher-ups compared to the other pups, and hasn't had a main focus in the NEP since the Ultimate Rescue days in 2018. With him getting the main character would finally end that drought. I may be a Zuma stan and biased toward him a little bit, but I just can't see it happening yet. Same with Rocky as well. If anything, the TV movies seem like their best shot at getting a good length special for them. They'll probably have one done on both of them before they'll get a theatrical film, and in that case, they're both long shots here to be the main character. Honestly, I'll be shocked if one of them is chosen as the main character, especially with both Marshall and Rubble having a distinct advantage out of the four. They're both marketing pups, featured on pretty much every piece of merch together along with Chase and Sky. It's obvious who has the better chance, and it's obvious who fans don't want as the main character. Rubble takes this by a wide margin. It's not just the fact that he is the most disliked of the OG6 pups, it's also of the treatment he gets in and out of the theatrical films. For one, he's been the comedic relief out of the team in both theatrical films to the seething of Marshall fans who think he should be comedic relief, as in the show. Combined with this, Rubble gets a good amount of screen time because of this. If you're going to make him the main character, at least switch the comedic relief over to Marshall so that way we don't have Rubble taking up all the screen time, and maybe please the Marshall fans in the process. But there's more to it than just screen time. Up's backstories are the theoretical film's main feature, and we've already seen Chase and Sky get theirs, with others still waiting to get revealed. Rubble, though, has already gotten one from Season 1. I don't see the reason for him to get another backstory unless it connects to the one we got in Pups Get a Rubble. Unless you want to make the episode redundant, be my guess. There are other pups that we need to explore on first. Rubble isn't the biggest priority on this compared to others. And then, of course, there's his spin off series, Rubble and Crew, in which he is literally the main character in, that barely anyone watches, posts about, and has any interest in. And I fear the same thing will happen if Rubble is named the main character here. Interest for this third film will drop like a rock for the veteran hardcore fan base for the series if he gets chosen. The point of all this is Rubble doesn't deserve this more than anyone else right now. There are other options available that have their own logical reasons for wanting to be the main character, and the fans want them too more than anything. So with that said, who do I think is going to be the main character of Paw Patrol 3? Marshall is going to be my pick, not because he is the favorite, but he is the most logical and best case scenario. However, Rubble is still looming in my mind, and I have a weird feeling in my gut that he will be chosen and the reaction from most will not be positive. Let's hope it never happens, for the better. So let me know down below who you think should be the main character in Paw Patrol 3 and why you chose that specific character. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all again next time.